Hey man, what's up? Sorry. Hey, Alice Carter. What's going on? We're about to talk about Chicago right now. 1 second. 1 second. Getting everything ready. How are you, Alice? I see you on stream. Testing 1, 2. How's everybody doing? We're about to get into this right now. Cause I just found out Chicago was trying to do it at $300 million tax hike. That's crazy. Let everybody join in for a second while we getting this done. Whoops. Where's my screen? There we go. Hey Alice, I haven't been able to put the kick chat into my stream. I still haven't found out how to do it. I tried to look some videos. I'm using yeah, I got Streamlabs, but I haven't been able to see the chat 100%. Like it doesn't show on the OBS. All right, I'm gonna try to get to it after this broadcast. I just really wanted to I just really want to talk about this because I saw this and it's crazy. So yesterday, a couple of days ago, the mayor in Chicago proposed a $300 million property tax hike. It got shot down by oh, thanks, man. Sorry. Oh, thanks for the W. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've been putting some videos lately, but let me see if I could add you somehow. Let me see if I could do. Let me do something real quick. Let me see. Let me see if I could. I got an idea how to do this. At least while. At least. At least for the meantime, so everybody can see the chat and kick. Appreciate you. So I'm gonna do this. I'm at another window. Yeah, I see that. Give me 1 second. I'm at least add the kick chat for the meantime. Okay, I got that. Done. 1 second. And then I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put my screen. Somewhere up. Like that. Does that make it better for now? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm pretty new to this. But thank you for the input. There you go. Then I'm gonna move this screen. Over here. Yeah, I figure like this is better, no? And then I do have a chat box. Move that over here. Yeah, so with the chat box here. There we go. I think I got it. Let me see something if it pops out. Test. It didn't pop out here. Oh, it did pop out. I saw it. 1 second. I saw it. Did you see it for like 1 second? Wait. Type something again, real quick. Sorry. It should be pop out in your right screen. Just anything. Can you type anything? I saw it for like a second. Is it this one? Oh, that's weird. Let me see. I saw it for like a second. Yeah, you see it, the little flash? Let me try to fix it. Give me a second. Can you do something else? Real quick. Let me see. Test. Oh, I see it right here. You see it? Right there. So my multi-stream is working. But for some reason I can't do the kick chat. Yeah. It's on the right corner right here. I saw it. Alright, cool. So it is working. Let me just do one more thing. Test again. Let's see if it works again. Did that work? No. Oh, that one worked. Okay. Let me test it again. Yeah, it is, right? Last test. Okay. Alright, it's working, kind of. Just gotta make it bigger for some reason. Alright, well, it's working. The chat's working. It's popping. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. If I could crop this and just make it bigger for you. The chat. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's a kick chat. And I'm on Facebook. I'm in all platforms right now, so. Well, we kind of fixed it, right? It works, right? It works. Yeah, so like I was saying, Chicago was proposing a $300 million tax hike. It got defeated by 50-0. But now he came back with a proposal of 120 million, but they will raise the personal property lease tax cloud to 11%. It's a lot. Hey, Alice, thank you again for the help. Really appreciate that. Because I was using my phone to look at the kick chat before. How's my audio? Is my audio good? It's popping? Alright. Okay. And now I gotta go. A second. Thank you for the help. Appreciate that. So let's listen to the video first. Where's the video I have?
But first, breaking news at City Hall. Mayor Brandon Johnson's property tax hike is rejected by City Council.
It was an increase the mayor called to balance the budget. Sabrina Franzi joins us live. Sabrina, a lot has happened in the last hour.
DeMarie, it is unanimous. Every single alderperson voted it down, the mayor's $300 million property tax proposal. They say they have plenty of ideas. Now Mayor Brandon Johnson is going to be forced to listen to them.
It's a devastating loss for Mayor Johnson. I've been here, going on 17 years. I've never seen this kind of vote take place. And I think in many of our lifetimes, we've never seen this. So it sends a message that massive property tax increase he was looking for is not going to happen.
At the end of the day, the state of Illinois has designed municipalities to run property taxes. We have tried to do the best we can to avoid that. However, it becomes a point where some of those things are necessary.
Some of those.
But the only reason they're under budget is because last year they gave $51 million for the shelters for the Venezuelans that came into Chicago. That's the reason that they're over budget, and now they got to increase the liquor tax, increase the garbage fee, and contribute less to the pension payments.
Just as we've heard from aldermen in the past 2 weeks, including.
That's crazy because look, imagine you're 20. I think you need 25 years to retire if you work for the city for your pension, and you're contributing to the pension, but now that, let's say you're about to retire in a year or two, they're gonna contribute less. That's crazy, and that's why Chicago's losing. And it's gonna become a Republican. It's gonna become a Republican state, not just city and a state. Because, imagine you're working your whole life, and then they're telling you that they're gonna contribute less to your pension. People make plans. People make plans to for their future. I'm 65, 2 more years, 67, I retired, and I'm gonna get this much from my pension. Now they can contribute less to the pension fund, and you're gonna get less. You see, what are you gonna do? Get another job? No, you want to retire. You done your time. You deserve to get for your pension to be fine.
An increased liquor tax, increased garbage collection fees, and contributing less to the advanced pension payments. Also at today's meeting, members of the Fraternal Order of Police. This is CBS News Chicago has obtained a letter from Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul to Mayor Brandon Johnson. Raoul asking Johnson to, quote, reconsider proposed cuts to the Chicago Police Department. Cuts which would decrease the number of employees charged with fulfilling the department's consent decree.
I don't agree with that either. Why are you defunding the police? When somebody's robbing you and then nobody comes and helps you, you're going to be like, whoa, what? Like, the social services that should never be defunded is the police, the firemen, and that's pretty much it, I would assume. You need, there's a fire or you need paramedics, the fire station comes. If you need the police for whatever, they got to be funded.
Raoul adds that doing so would place the city at, quote, significant risk of being held in contempt of court. Now, Mayor Brandon Johnson is expected to host a press conference to answer questions about all of these things that are currently happening at the same time. Shooting down this $300 million property tax increase does not necessarily mean that a property tax increase will not eventually pass, but it does force everyone back to the drawing board when the deadline for this budget is at the end of the year. We'll bring you the update from that.
This is what I don't get. Like, they're raising. What's he? Oh, there's another one right here. Look.
There are 0 nays, 50 nays. This matter has been voted down.
With a unified voice, the city council speaks.
It's a devastating loss for Mayor Johnson. I've been here, going on 17 years. I've never seen this kind of vote take place. And I think in many of our lifetimes, we've never seen this.
The mayor didn't seem surprised as critics and allies alike voted down his proposal to raise $300 million in property taxes, which works out to about a 4% increase. It also would have broken a campaign promise Johnson made.
This is a healthy process. This is something that...
Nothing about raising taxes is healthy, bro. Nothing about raising taxes is healthy.
that my administration can handle. I'm not intimidated by voices from individuals who are city leaders in their own respects.
Mayor Johnson has said the increase was necessary to avoid layoffs, program cuts, and furloughs.
I won't call or characterize what anyone does as a mistake. It's a representation of what the executive branch believes is best for the city of Chicago.
This budget was presented late. All we get is kind of a big book of line items. We have an Office of Financial Analysis that has 2 people.
The city has until the end of the year to pass a budget.
For the most part, there was no collaboration on his part, and we got to this point because of that lack of collaboration. So, again, in all my years I've worked, this is the 4th mayor. This is the first time I've seen that lack of collaboration, and this is why you get a 50-0 vote.
That is a charge the mayor denies.
He has no support, 50-0. Nobody wants to raise taxes. All you're doing is making people not vote Democrat anymore. You know? You shouldn't have built the $51 million shelter for the Venezuelans. 4% hike? That's crazy.
Collaborating with people, with all. We're going to talk to every single holder because it's going to take all of us.
Last weekend, nearly half of the council met with the mayor's budget team to negotiate and find other revenue streams, which could include raising the garbage collection fee, the amusement tax, and increasing taxes on cigarettes, parking, and liquor. Remaining federal COVID.
Bro, parking is still expensive as F. You go to the beach, it's like sorry, didn't mean to curse. It's like $30. What you talking about, bro? It's crazy. Like, how much more can you squish out of people? Wages are still like $15 an hour in Chicago. That's $600 a week minus taxes is like $450. That's not included if you have insurance. If they're taking away your insurance, it's probably like an extra $50 a week. You know, you're making 600 times 4. What is that? 2,400 minus, let's say, 150 in tax per week. That's 600. Is 1,800. Plus, let's say they take away $50 in insurance a week. That's $200. That's $1,600 to live off. When rents in Chicago between like $1,100 to like $1,800 for an apartment, for a 1 room, is your whole income gonna go towards rent? What about food? It's impossible. You got at least to have 2 jobs now. You know, it's not like before when your parents used to have 1 job and then that's it. No, right now either you're a work all, because I do that. I'm a work all day. You know, and I don't have a lot of time. But what are you gonna do? You know.
COVID relief funds are still available as well. A smaller property tax increase is also being talked about.
Whether it's a property tax or any other tax, people will be impacted.
Eric Rung, WGN News.
That's why you don't raise taxes, bro. Man, these people are crazy. And everyone in the South Side is not taking. Look at that.
Angry. They believe the city has overextended itself and should be putting the tens of millions of dollars earmarked for migrants into Chicago's most vulnerable neighborhoods.
But the South Side has been under-resourced, underfunded for years, for decades. We have schools that need to be reopened. We have buildings that are abandoned that need to be business operated.
The group says the city has abandoned its Invest Southwest initiative, a Lightfoot-era program that was dedicated to reversing decades of disinvestment on Chicago's South and West Sides, promising to align more than $2.2 billion through public and private funding.
We are taxpayers, we're property owners. Our money should go towards fixing our communities.
The city has received more than 15,000 migrants since August 2022.
We have no more room. Y'all are embarrassing Chicago as a whole.
According to analysis by the ABC7 data team, there are more than 20 active migrant shelters across the city, 7 located on the south and west sides.
Whether it's 1 shelter or whether it's 10 shelters, we're saying the facilities that are there for us, the money needs to be put into those facilities for us.
In a statement from the mayor's office about the group's
because if you go to the south side of Chicago, like most schools are not are not like new, you know. My mother lives in the South Side. When I go see her, I pass two schools. They're the crappiest schools ever. But somehow you managed to get $51 million for the immigrants. That's what they're mad. And they have the right to be. You get neglected. You live in the South Side. You get neglected. Somebody comes, there's magically money. Of course, you know, there has to be a balance. I'm not saying that to help the immigrants, but there has to be a balance in what you do. Otherwise, this is what's gonna happen. And this has never happened before, where people in the South Side, they usually with the Hispanics, they usually cheer us on when we're doing marches and all that. They help us out. This has never been like that. But it's because you're neglecting them. You know, you have money to build a shelter, but you don't have money for their schools. You know, you kind of see the point what they're talking about.
Concerns and the status of Invest Southwest, a spokesperson says in part, quote, "We are committed to continued investment for all residents, but especially communities on the South and West sides that have long experienced disinvestment. We are the city of Chicago, and our shoulders are big enough to support both new arrivals and those who have long called this city home."
Mayor Johnson, the black aldermen, the black alderwomen in this city, you will stand for the black citizens of Chicago.
Now, the city says Mayor Johnson knows firsthand the impact of neglect on a vulnerable community and that he will never stop investing in people, all people, and delivering the affordable housing, fully funded schools, safer streets, and living wages that every person deserves.
But you're not doing that, bro. It's another word here.
But first, breaking news at City Hall. Mayor Brandon Johnson's property tax hike is rejected by City Council.
It was an increase the mayor called to balance the budget. Sabrina Franza joins us live. Sabrina, a lot has happened in the last hour.
Jim Marie, it is unanimous. Every single alderperson voted it down, the mayor's $300 million property tax proposal. They say they have plenty of ideas. Now Mayor Brandon Johnson is going to be forced to listen to them.
That's a devastating loss for Mayor Johnson. I've been here, going on 17 years.
I think we've seen this video before.
This.
Right, man. This mayor's not even. I think he's facing Enrico too. The New York mayor. You're crooked. Oh, I saw that one.
Good evening, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I want to know, how does it feel that Trump is in office right now? You see that?
You see, that would never have happened like a couple years ago. But we neglect people, and they don't have a choice. You know, for them is the lesser of two evils. I'm pretty sure if this guy's had a younger Democratic, what you call it? Oh man, I forgot the word. Not contestant. What you call it? If somebody else was running for the presidency that was younger, that looked trustworthy, that was kind of balanced, the Democrats would have won. But everybody in this election felt that they didn't have a choice. And look at this. This is Chicago. The heart. Chicago screams Democratic Party. They scream it. They live it. But now look at this. The residents from the South Side, hardcore Democrats. And look what he's saying.
You see the Mayor Brandon Johnson. You underestimate us. You underestimate the black people, and you underestimate Chicago Red. We're the thorn in your side, and we're going to be the thorn on everybody else in this council member side too. If you don't stop what you're doing, we're going to take matters in our own hand, and we're going to stop it. You know that Trump had pulled 45% of the voter in the state of Illinois, 37 in the city.
Oh, my bad, Alice. It didn't show. How made stuff so you? Oh, my bad, Alice. I didn't see your comment just came in. Yeah, once I'm done with the stream, just send me your email, and then we could get something worked out. You know, because I do want to make my stream more professional. You know, thank you, appreciate that.
In Chicago, that's the statistic. That means that Illinois is turning purple. We're gonna turn red.
Y'all can bird dog me all y'all want, but if it's relationship over duty, then y'all don't serve the blue. And you can smirk all you want.
Mr. Sims, direct your attention towards me, please.
You're a criminal. Why do I gotta address you? The feds need to address you. DOJ need to address you, and hopefully Donald Trump will address you. Because you're gonna protect the undocumented. Why you gonna allow for the citizens in the Chicago?
You see, everybody's just frustrated. Like, everybody's frustrated with what's happening. Even like this will never have happened. Like I said, like a couple years ago, this will never have happened. But you see the frustration with people where you're building shelters for the immigrants, yet you can't renovate the schools. You know, if you're gonna choose something like that, you also gotta make something impactful for the community. You know, so they don't think they're alienated. You know, it's like if you could come in for Thanksgiving dinner, right? And your cousin brings a date and everybody's treating her more than you. You know, it's kind of like a weird thing I'm trying to say, but you know, like why them and not me type of scenario.
I go to suffer under your what 33%. See, Joe Lopez cooked that 3% up a long time ago. Y'all call it a circuit breaker. Y'all been talked about it. Remember before you came in here and gave that jovial speech? You need to be inspected. You wearing that creep over there.
Acting like, you know, you just gonna bully everybody. You got people, officers whose families don't even want you to come to the funeral. You just like a schoolyard bully. That at some point, and you might not know nothing about it because you grew up in Elgin. But those of us who grew up on the south side and west side of Chicago, we all know at some point that
hurt because I kind of live around there.
bully gets cornered in the alley and everybody come at him and he ain't gonna have nobody to help him. That's you. That's you. Keep thinking you ain't gonna abide by what the President of the United States said. Everybody know better than that. I see you, Anna Valencia, in your red. You know what it is. This is the second time you showed up in City Council in red. You know what it is? Yeah. Yeah. So you and the rest of them that know what time it is, y'all come on. You leave that loser where he is. He's a loser. He's a loser. No, me and Zoe, we ain't doing nothing for nobody except for ourselves. We got you, loser.
It's 14%.
That's crazy. You know, it's just crazy.
Rating is what you appear to have, Brandon Johnson, across the United States, or how they see you. But 14% rating. Now, I'm going to talk about all those known donations of $11.5 million that came from places like the CTU, the SEIU, the American Federation of Teachers, Illinois Federation of Teachers, and then someone got the nerve to get on there and talk about cutting the pensions. What about our real estate? Because, see, we paid for these properties for a purpose and not for you to go touching it with $300 million that you want to siphon out of the citizens' pockets. Get rid of the illegals, and that'll take your money right back.
Like I said, if they were got strict with the Venezuelans, not causing all this trouble and all this, it would have been different. And that's what I said. There's different types of immigrants. There's immigrants that come from Mexico, let's say. When they get here, there's nothing is handed out to them, right? They have to come and work because they have a loan behind their back. Whether it was $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 they paid to get here, right? They got to repay that money back. With the Venezuelans, they came to the border, asked for asylum, and they shipped them to the sanctuary cities. You know, and we got overflowed, They start causing trouble. They start asking for free this, free that, free that, and now people are frustrated because everybody. See, nobody cares unless he touches their pockets, right? Now that we're getting the property tax hikes every year, everybody's frustrated. You know what's going on? You know, because especially the poor communities, like in the South Side, they're not making as much, right? They're used to having their tax hikes like $1,000 for a $100,000 home, $200,000 home, and what's happening? Their homes are getting valued at much more than what was 2 or 3 years ago. But their income has stayed the same. So now they got to pay more for their property tax hikes, but their incomes are the same. So they're about to lose their houses too because they can't pay the taxes. Or if they have a loan, their loan increases because taxes are included with the loan, with the mortgage, and they can't pay it. That's why they're frustrated.
Start it off with that.
In the letter calling for the special meeting, the only item up today for consideration is item number 02024-0013679, an ordinance authorizing the fiscal year 2025 property tax levy. There are 0 nays, 50 nays. This matter has been voted down. Alderman Mitchell on a motion to...
50 nays. This mayor's not getting elected again. Nope. He fumbled the ball with that one. He fumbled the ball hard. Nobody's gonna you can't be getting $51 million for shelters, but you can't even, he should at least fix one school, and there would have been no content, because then he would have had something to say. I at least fix that, but he didn't give nothing. He fumbled the ball with that. Now he turned the whole people, the people that put him in power, against him.
To adjourn.
That's a sad reality, Oh, here's the full meeting. Let's see the full meeting.
Will come to order, Madam Clerk.
Where is that talking at? I want to see what the residents are talking. There we go. See what the residents got to say. Like I said, he would have been, we're going to fix the school. At least one of them, they would have been chilling. But no, he get $51 million.
You have a moment to settle a score, or divide the people, or just get to the bottom of it. But you, Brandon Johnson, have ignored every plea, call, cry that I or any individual have come in this room and made. I called about my child, 23D79597. Yasuke Roosevelt Sims told you about the attack that's been taking place. I came in here and told you that I'm homeless. My HMIS number is 355.
As I'm telling you, there's people, if you go to Chicago before the Democratic Convention came, there was homeless people everywhere on the side of the highways, in front of the police stations. It was crowded. It was crazy crowded. Once the Democratic Convention came, they cleaned out the streets, because to make it look nice, they had to construct this $51 million shelter.
5061. I came in here, but I came in here because I wanted my life back. And lo and behold, wow, the answers that I've gotten. But you, sir, said also the other day that the presidency or Trump disrupts Black Americans. It doesn't. You disrupt Black Americans. Your workforce development scheme with Michael David Rodriguez, your immigration scheme with Vasquez, and your housing scheme with Cedro Lopez. You a criminal. You should be investigated by the IG, who I was glad who was in here the day that Maria Haddon was in here, the gangster girl who ran me up out of my neighborhood. I've been shot 5 times, 6 times. I've been persecuted, followed over a case, 22CV 5691 that was in the Northern District. This took place in 2020, July 22nd. I told him about a young man named Brian Carrion who was murdered in the street, chased around like as if he was a Ahmaud Arbery. I told y'all so much, but I know it's a gangster in this room, a criminal, one that thinks that he is above the law, that he can dictate the law. Mr. Catanzara. the man who argue with you because y'all want to be relevant. But I'm telling you, the people in the city of Chicago need good representation. They need a representation that don't lean towards corruption. They need a representation that don't use people because they think they can. And you and them people over there, y'all that. I've been running from cowards that want to show me as a weak man. I'm not a weak man. My child, Ian Walter Oba Sims, I want to be back with him. Y'all put an order of protection. All of these papers is the ways that y'all have tried to what? Criminalize me, villainize me, all the ignoring of it. Cornerstone, Miss Clay, this is a room full of criminals, y'all. This is a room full of criminals, and they don't want this man up here. Because I don't look, y'all can bird dog me all y'all want, but if it's relationship over duty, then y'all don't serve the blue, and y'all don't pledge the oath. Y'all pledge to serve
You see?
us, not Cotton Zara, not a personal interest, but y'all do. And you can smirk all you want.
Mr. Simmons, direct your attention towards me, please.
You're a criminal. Why do I got to address you? The feds need to address you. DOJ need to address you, and hopefully Donald Trump will address you. Because you're going to protect the undocumented. Why you going to allow for the citizens in Chicago to suffer under your, 33%? You and C.J. Lopez cooked that 3% up a long time ago. Y'all called it a circuit breaker. Y'all been talked about it. Remember, before you came in here and gave that jovial speech, you need to be inspected. You ran that creep over there.
Mr. Clerk, would you take a moment here? We have the former alder of the 40th Ward, 1979 and 1983, Mr. Ivan Rittenberg. Thank you, Alderman, for joining us today. Can you all just please give a quick acknowledgement for the Alderman? Thank you very much. Thank you for that salute there. Please, Mr. Clerk, please continue with our public speakers.
Our next speaker this afternoon is Dan McNamara.
Sergeant at Arms, please restore order, please.
All these residents are really mad. It's crazy. But like I said, everybody's just frustrated with what's happening.
It's okay. Order has been restored. Dan, you may begin again.
Okay. My name is Dan McNamara. I've been a citizen of the city since 1979. My purpose in being here today was I was hoping to begin a dialogue about a strategy that could effectively put over $100 million back in the city budget without cutting costs, services, or employees, and without raising taxes.
I wonder where did they announce this? Because I would like to go to one of these.
Mayor, on September 24th, I sent a letter to your office, and with your permission, I'll just read a portion of the letter. It might explain why I'm here. It says, Honorable Mayor Johnson, I'm writing you about the urgent matter facing your administration in the City of Chicago budget. There's considerable stress in the news recently about looming deficits, both operational and legacy. If there was a way to restore over $100 million annually to the city coffers without cutting services or raising taxes, how would you prefer to learn about it? In the simplest terms, the city can achieve $2,500 to $7,500 per employee reduction per year in quantifiable healthcare cost reductions. By the way, the unions, many of them, are already on board with this kind of strategy. But here's the catch. It takes a certain amount of backbone to get these kinds of initiatives past the entrenched status quo. While Mayor Lightfoot initially showed enthusiasm for this, nearly all of the lower level administrators dropped the ball and failed to follow through on even giving this course of action a proper vetting. I'm hoping that now your administration is up to the task. And then it goes on. Our next speaker this afternoon is Jessica Jackson.
This was like a couple days ago, before I read this. Oh, you know that lady's pissed. You know that lady's pissed. Look at that. She can't.
What you just saw was Sam's. This is where you want all of us to be.
You know that is Superman. Look at that.
You want all of us to be stark raged out our minds. You want us to feel pressed against the wall. You want us to feel helpless. You want us to feel hopeless. You want to see us turn on one another. But there's some real ones out here. And we gonna stick together. But when it come to people like you, Brandon Johnson, black people like you, who sit up here and think you gonna bully us, that's why everybody coming after you now.
Well, what happened?
Including Kwame Raoul. But we gonna come for him. Because he ain't doing what he's supposed to do. He's not helping us the way he's supposed to help us. You want to sit here and watch us be aggravated like that. You, that lady next to you, what is it, Mary Richardson, Lori, her too, not doing her job. You too, not doing your job. Acting like, you just gonna bully everybody. You got people, officers whose families don't even want you to come to the funeral. You just like a schoolyard bully. That at some point, and you might not know nothing about it because you grew up in Elgin. But those of us who grew up on the south side and west side of Chicago, we all know that at some point that bully gets cornered in the alley and everybody come at him. And he ain't gonna have nobody to help him. That's you. That's you. Keep thinking you ain't gonna abide by what the President of the United States said. Everybody know better than that. I see you, Anna Valencia, in your red. You know what it is. This is the second time you showed up in City Council in red. You know what it is? Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yo, what's happening?
so you and the rest of them that know what time it is, y'all come on. You leave that loser where he is. He's a loser. He's a loser. No, me and Zoe, we ain't doing nothing for nobody except for ourselves. We got you, loser.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Jody Wiedeker.
Good afternoon, Mayor Johnson and Chicago City Council. I know that today's meeting is focused on the city's budget, but if a pandemic hits our city or the country, Chicago will have even bigger financial worries. That's why I'm urging you to please support, co-sponsor, and pass O-2023-2983, the humane measure to ban the sale of new fur in Chicago. Here is another excerpt from another scientific journal, and were also included. But we will be doing our part as a progressive city to
board, Brian, Mr. Hopkins. I'm married with no kids yet and one dog, and we are property owners. We bought our home in 2021 when everyone else was flocking from the city, and it's sad to say that I used to be proud of calling myself a Chicagoan. Despite being a white male, I did not vote for Donald Trump, and I did not grow up privileged. My mother was a school nurse, and my father worked in the trades. I had to get a full ride scholarship to college in order to pay for my education. I'm devastated to see what has unfolded over the last 18 months under the current mayor. We're living in a kleptocracy. As we stand at a critical juncture in Chicago's future, it is essential that we hold.
You see why he said that he voted Democrat. That he didn't vote for Trump, but he's frustrated as well.
Our leaders accountable and address the pressing issues that affect every single resident of this city. Not just the unions, and not just the new arrivals, as the mayor refers to them. Today, I'm here to express serious concerns about Mayor Brandon Johnson's leadership and the direction that he is taking Chicago. Under Mayor Johnson's leadership, Chicago's pension crisis has only deepened. We have over $30 billion of unfunded pension liabilities. Our city is facing a financial burden that threatens to cripple future generations. The pension obligations are destroying the city and squeezing people out of the city, and yet nothing has changed.
That's just the pension, Social Security is going to crap too. You know, I'm like, even me, I'm not expecting no Social Security later on. You know, what I'm expecting. I'm leaving my kids' house. I'm setting my house and my kids, I'm moving into one of the rooms. That's what I'm doing.
Chicago's pension debt has soared by over $2 billion in the last year. 1 week ago, the mayor tweeted that the budget we unveiled today is furthering our investment towards a better, stronger, and safer Chicago. The plan to fill the budget shortfall included raising taxes on property owners after numerous attempts in the past that have all been shut down by voters, and cutting spend for police reform. Neither of these initiatives will result in a stronger and safer Chicago. The bond rating agency KRBA recently put Chicago's bond rating on watch downgrade, indicating it will be downgraded if the budget does not sufficiently address the structural deficit. The inability to support headcount reductions by the current mayor is lunacy. I myself was unfortunately a part of a reduction in force in October, which is why I'm here at 2 o'clock on a Thursday. It happens, and people will survive. It happens all the time in the private sector. Instead of making the difficult but absolutely necessary cuts to government spending, continues to push for tax hikes. Our infrastructure is a mess. The bridges are a disaster. The roads and traffic is a joke.
Well, that's in the south side. Let's say you go down California Avenue by Blue Island. It's all potholes like crazy.
Servicemen, I have several friends on the force, and they are exhausted. We have a lack of fire trucks, a significant amount of overtime spend, and it is ridiculous. We're relying on casinos, we're relying on property tax increases, instead of addressing the true issue, which is we have an addiction to spending. We do not have a revenue issue. We have an addiction to spending. I know I have 2 seconds. I urge my fellow Chicagoans to continue pushing for responsible.
Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you very much for your comments. However, your time has expired.
You gotta let these people get their anger off. You can't just, I know like there's time limits, but they're angry. Let them go off. They'll cool down, you know?
Our next speaker is Mrs. Lawrence.
Chicago really messed up. You know, this lady's on timing. She's all red. You know, she's about to go out. What did she say? America, godly, always.
I'm going to start off with talking about the...
Make America godly. Amen. Always.
Budget and the real estate and all these things. And I'm going to get it out in 3 minutes. 14% rating is what you appear to have, Brandon Johnson, across the United States, or how they see you. But 14% rating. Now, I'm going to talk about all those known donations of $11.5 million that came from places like the CTU, the SEIU, the American Federation of Teachers, Illinois Federal Federation of Teachers, and then someone got the nerve to get on there and talk about cutting their pensions. What about our real estate? Because, see, we paid for these properties for a purpose and not for you to go touching it with $300 million that you want to siphon out of the citizens' pockets. Get rid of the illegals, and that'll take your money right back. Started off with that. Now, let's go to a lot of the people here, these aldermen.
It's MAGA. Okay. But she made godly. Okay.
We had 31 aldermen, and we got one that's playing on the fence about protecting the citizens and their real estate and these property tax increases. But let's also talk about these aldermen that we got.
And in case you guys don't know, they're making Chicago right now, it's at 10% property tax. They're gonna make another percentage, you know. So let's say your house is $200,000. It used to be $20,000 tax, but now it's gonna be $22,000. So that's an extra $2,000 for every $100,000.
15 of them that's getting money from the CTU since 2009. Oh yeah, I'm bringing the facts. The facts is only what I'm going to talk about. And let's also talk about the 5 aldermen who not supporting the citizens, but also are not supporting with this, and receiving money from CTU as well. So you 5, you know who you are, and so do I. List right in my hands. Also, let's talk about the 4.1% increase of salary for 2025, starting from $123,000 to $152,000. So I mean, this is all public information. It's not like it's something.
It's because she's talking about how the people in government got a 4% basically salary raise. That's what she's saying. Like, how do we say we don't have money and you raising the property tax, but when everybody in government is getting 4% raise, 4% raise. So she said it was what she say was 120.
Starting from $123,000 to $152,000.
That's 123 to 100. What she say? 123 to 125,000.
So you 5, you know who you are, and so do I. List right in my hands. Also, let's talk about the 4.1% increase of salary for 2025, starting from $123,000 to $152,000. So I mean, this is all public information. It's not like it's something.
Yeah, that's what $25,000 raise. That's crazy, and that's for so 4% increase for everybody. But you know they do have to make a point that how you gonna raise $300 million in property tax hike when everybody's getting a 4% raise. You know, she's right about that. You know, not everybody's getting a 4% raise every year. You know, I don't think anybody even gets maybe 2%, but not 4%. Let's say if I got a 4% raise, what was that? 13, 26. That means I would make an extra $6,000 a year from my job. You know, that's crazy.
And that's here. So, because us as citizens, we need to know what's going on, because all of you all are called mini mayors. And the mini mayors are responsible for the citizens within your wards. You are accountable, not just responsible, to be able to speak up on our behalf and not sit here weak and not stand up for us. But the 31 that has stood up, thank you. For the one that's riding the fence, who don't want to sign the letter, but says that he's not going to vote for this, thank you. Because a man going to stand up. And we know who all of you are, because again, it's in my hand.
That's ridiculous. 4%, 4% increase in salary. That's nuts. You know, you can't give yourself 4% and then be asking for money after that. No, that's not how it works. You know, maybe after you fix a lot of the issues, maybe later on. But right now, you just said we're in a deficit. You know, and you're giving yourself 4% raise, but cutting the pensions of people. What? Make it make sense. You just said you're gonna invest less in the pensions, but you're gonna give yourself 4% raise. That's nuts, and that's what I'm telling you, that the era of being Democrat in Chicago is over with. Not because the Republicans are good or whatever. It's because everybody's tired of getting robbed, and now a lot of people are more educated now than before. You know, before you would never see this in the town hall meetings. You know, I've been in Chicago all my life. I've never seen somebody stand up for themselves like that. So she's right. How are you gonna give yourself a 4% raise, basically a $25,000 raise, and then be asking for a $300 million tax hike? You know, if you're in a deficit, you're not gonna give yourself a tax hike. You say you own a business, you're not gonna raise your income if your business is not making that much money. Cause now you're gonna get more loans. She's right about that.
So don't think you're not known, because this is public. So when you collect the money from somewhere, just know that people like me research and find out and expose. Speak up for your citizens.
And there's something called what was it called? 1 second. Oh, not this. Where is it at? I had something for you guys. Oh, so they also using the TIF funds. So it's like it's called surplus, but it's not really a surplus. Look, let me read it. A TIF surplus, executive orders, context, overlapping. So it's basically, it says surplus, but it's money saved up for future projects. He's using all this money to balance the budget. You know? He's using all this money to balance the budget. So the future construction projects and all that, he's like, man, I'm getting rid of that. I'm gonna use this for the to balance the budget. And I'll give you the thing right here. Where is it at? TIF. Chicago. But tax high TIF. See, look, let me show you. Oh, let me see. Can you guys see? Oh no! I gotta get everyone. They're charging me. I'm too cheap. All right, my bad, Chad. So it's where is it at? Oh man, what's up? Everybody charging, bro, to read nowadays. For real, like, bro, I am rich. Okay, so for 2025, there's a $982 million budget gap, which includes the large property tax increase the largest property tax increase since 2016. Can you guys read this? No. Let me see if I can read. All right, you guys can read that. All right, so let's get it. So there's a budget cap of $982 million. But includes the largest property tax increase since 2016. It comes as many Chicago homeowners are already grappling with higher property tax filing Cook County's. Oh yeah, they just raised their property tax last year, but like what was that, 50%? There was a whole thing about it. John claims without property tax hike, layoffs and furloughs. Also, the furloughs they're making city employees take like 4 or 5 days unpaid. So they come to work, but they don't get paid for it. To kind of like. So they get the work done, but they don't get paid for that. To avoid alternative, he called not acceptable to propose $300 million property tax hike. In the second budget plan of majority tenure city hall and statement, mayor office said property owners will see an estimated 4% average increase to the property tax bill. Okay, so let's see. I don't live in Cook County though, but let's say if I live there. If I pay $5,600 in my property tax, another 4% would be $200 more. Yeah, right? Is my math right? To my 3 viewers I got here, is my math right? Yeah, I should be right. 56. 1% would be $56, right? 2% would be $112. Yeah, about 150 something. I don't know. It's almost $200. But that's for me, 56. Imagine you have a $30,000 home in Chicago. And I live outside Cook County, so my tax bill isn't that high. But let's say you have a $10,000 bill. That means you'll be making that's almost $400 extra to your tax hike. People don't got that kind of money, Where was I? 4%. In order to reach that $300 million total. Johnson told the city council that without property tax increase, the city will be forced to reduce its workforce by 17%. But they're trying to get rid of the cops. I think that's what he said. It's difficult decision held Tuesday, but for laying off. Laying off police officers. Why you gotta go with the police? You need the police in Chicago. You see how much crime there is, and firefighters. You can't. Those are the essentials. You can't mess with those people, bro. Those jobs are essentials. Why don't you get rid of the let's see, what's a useless city job? Oh, those people at DMV. Man, you see them with their stink face? Yeah, get rid of them. Keep the police. Keep the firefighters, you know? Make sure we don't have to lay us. Johnson publicly presented his proposal to the city council, reiterating the difficulty he had in deciding the property taxes and thus breaking his campaign promise. Ultimately, the mayor said that the decision had to be made in order to fund pensions without deferring costs to the future. Well, that's what they've been doing for the longest time. You know, deferring all the costs for the next generation. You know, when Daley sold the parking meters for like 75 years, they said like all that they could have made that money in a couple of years, but Daley wanted it for there was a big event that was coming on. I think he did that for the airport expansion. Our city workers have their pension contributions deducted from every paycheck. They never miss or defer deposit in the system. We must uphold our obligation as well. That's true. You know, pensions, you got paid into your pension, and you're expecting a certain amount of money when you retire, and when they tell you, oh, no, it's not going to be that much, you know, that hurts. Because people make plans. I'm asking you to lean in and do a little bit more in order to make sure that the neighbors aren't laid off and make sure that we don't have to cut vital city services. You could have done that by not paying $51 million for the immigrant shelter thing, bro. Do it like the Mexicans do it. When we get here, we gotta figure it out. They gotta figure it out. You know? Facts. Hopefully today we call them to the room to discuss revised budget. Without it. See, that's what I was saying. The TIF. Those are the what did I say it was? I just said it. TIF. There's TIF surplus. Those are for future projects from the city. You know, those are future projects. So let's say future bridge work, future whatever. He's taking all that money and using it to balance the budget because we're not $182 million, you know, in the loop for. But it's without that to the massive privatizing that's going to hinder the entire city of Chicago. This is a lot of people gotta be paying attention to this because they're trying to lay off the police. So who's gonna help you when you get robbed? Nobody. When your house catches on fire or you need a medical situation, who's gonna help you? Nobody. Because there's gonna be less people for that stuff. Property taxes are too high for everybody. If you're asking me for that question, I think it's an easy. I just saw that the national average for property tax is 1%. In Illinois is 2%. And now they're trying to make it 4%? What the? Bro, like, you can't be doing that. Because you're shooting yourself in your own foot. This guy's definitely not going to get reelected next time. Definitely not. Property tax too high for everybody. Question, I think, is an easier. City Council has until the end of the year to approve the budget that now adds a financial burden to Chicago homeowners. City Council did approve a $580 million project in 2015 under the Mayor Ramman. Wow. Mayor needs $26 million budget. Johnson's property tax increase proposal is an immediate hang-up for at least some city council members if he's to gain the necessary votes to pass his budget. 14 alders sent a letter to the mayor on Tuesday calling the property tax a non-starter for us and our constituents. Good thing they're standing up to him. You know, good thing they're standing up to him. That's all I gotta say. You know, because like this lady, she was really mad.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Dennis. White.
Good evening, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I want to know, how does it feel that Trump is in office right now?
That's like the third Trump supporter in a row, bro. You made these people into Trump supporters. They don't care. They don't care about to be honest, they don't really care about the immigrants. But when you're spending $51 million and their schools still seems crappy, they care about it. You should, if you wanted to, you should give the immigrants $20 million and then $30 million for them. Help help a couple schools out, make them, look better, and then there wouldn't have been a problem. But you put $51 million for just one thing, and then they're over here like with their thumbs like this. No, of course you gotta make them switch parties.
You see the Mayor Brandon Johnson. You underestimate us. You underestimate the black people, and you underestimate Chicago Red. We're the thorn in your side, and we're gonna be the thorn on everybody else in this council member side too. If you don't stop what you're doing, we're gonna take matters in our own hand, and we're gonna stop it. When you took ShotSpotter off after the DNC stuff, more shots have been committed. Do you know how many people got shot and killed? 20. One was a police officer, and he was doing his duty. And then,
well, but he's talking about police that just killed by the switch, but that was no immigrant though.
Some maniac over here want to shoot him dead, cold-blooded and stuff. So my thoughts and prayers to the family of that Chicago police officer, Rob Hand. But Brandon Johnson, I'm going to say this to you once. I'm not going to repeat myself again. If you don't stop this madness, not only we're going to come after your seat, but guess what? The worst news is Trump signed Matt Gaetz as the AG. Once he come in after you, he's going to sit up here and audit all this money that you've been spending on these illegals at the barbershop on the south side that didn't have no money so far from you and stuff. So why? I know what's going to happen. You're going to go down to the press conference, beat your chest up, and then you're going to talk all that smack. And then you're going to say, if a black man has not had the opportunity like a white man. But guess what? I'm a black man, and I don't see at you. I see through you. And I see the lies that you have been saying since you became office. We had enough problem with Lori Lightfoot, and now she's out because of racism. So when we vote you out, which racism are you going to address? White racism or black racism? You cannot figure out what the lesser of the two evil would be. So guess what's going to happen? You know that Trump had pulled 45% of the voter in the state of Illinois, 37 in the city of Chicago. That's the statistic. That means that Illinois is turning purple. We're going to turn red.
Like I told you, all these people want is for them to also have you doing something for them. So when you spend, like I said, and I feel like I'm a broken record, when you spend $51 million at an immigrant shelter, and you tell these people that you can't fix their schools, you can't fix their roads, you can't do nothing for them, they're gonna feel some sort of way, and they have the right to be. If you were gonna spend 51, you should spend maybe 10 million on the shelter, and then 40 on them and help their schools and stuff. It's a give and take. And now,
And for the son of these city councilman member, I warn you, do not sit with Brandon Johnson. We're going to get them seats.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Zoe Lee.
I'm gonna start with what you said, Tuesday?
I'm going to defend the people of this city. Because look, his attack, let's be very clear, the president-elect, former President Trump, his threat is not just towards new arrivals and undocumented families. His threats are also against black families. He has a vision to destroy public education. So when he talks about Project 2025 and dismantling public education, we're talking about a system that has been designed to create leveling opportunities for families who are descendants of slaves. Truly going to...
You always want to use black people in your press conferences, but don't do nothing for black people in Chicago. You already know why I'm here, and I've been coming here for a year. Before I even knew who you was as a mayor, you was dipping off, going to the sides when I was out there protesting. You have corporate counsel right next to you, Mary Richardson Lowry, who has no idea what she's doing, because if she would have told you to settle my case. Okay? So yeah, you can look the other way and roll your eyes and do all that stuff, but you do not care about the Black Chicago citizens. Okay? You're trying to push this socialist agenda in this capitalist society. In 2019, when you was head leadership with CTU, y'all did a little GoFundMe and went over to Venezuela because y'all already knew what y'all were going to do with...
Wait, did the mayor of Chicago go to Venezuela? Mayor of Chicago in Venezuela. I don't think he went to Venezuela. No, he never went to Venezuela. So she got that one wrong. He never went to Venezuela. Alright. So, we gotta keep it fair, guys.
Bringing them all over here, right? So you're pushing this agenda with the illegal immigrants because y'all done stole all their money, because you thought that after that $51 million that the feds gave you back then, that Biden was going to keep sending y'all money. But as you know, Biden is the real racist. The one that y'all say Trump is, Biden been racist. Biden been racist for a long time. He just popped up with Obama as the vice president and everybody just forgot. Okay? You have no idea how how to govern. 2026, 2027, we're going to get you out, Tony Preckwinkle out, J.B. Pritzker out, Kwame Raoul out, and probably half of the Disgrace 50 out too. And the Disgrace 50 is the alderman. Okay? My case should have been settled. They stealing black people's property and land in the city of Chicago, and they've been doing it for a very long time, okay? Majority of the people that work for the city of Chicago and Cook County are realtors or part of real estate agents. That is a conflict of interest, so that's why y'all keep stealing our property and our land. And y'all think that it's going to be okay and it's going to keep happening. It's not going to happen. It's not going to keep happening. We have a new Department of Justice. And at the end of that, we have people that are running. Fall.
Thank you very much for your comments. Your Honor, there are no further speakers who have timely signed up the public comment.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. This concludes the public comment period for the special.
That lady was cooking, though.
Meeting agenda as set forth in the letter calling for the special meeting. The only item up today for consideration is item number 02024-0013679.
Is that it?
Alderman Curtis.
Yes.
Curtis is a yes.
But I certainly would not.
That lady was cooking, though. I ain't gonna lie. Let's see. See, is there a new one? Is there a new video? New today. No, we've seen that already. Oh, sorry, my kids are in the background. They just got home from school. Where is that? Where is that? There's a new proposal. Chicago mayor new tax proposal.
Well, get ready. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson lays out his plan to close an almost $1 billion budget gap tomorrow.
To do that, CBS News Chicago is learning he will backtrack on one of his biggest campaign promises. Our Sabrina Franz has been digging into this all day and joins us now. Sabrina?
It's going to be interesting. In his campaign ads and on the campaign trail, he promised repeatedly to not raise property taxes. Now we're learning that's exactly what he'll do to make up for the at least part of an almost $1 billion budget gap.
I won't raise your property taxes.
Then candidate for mayor, Brandon Johnson. The people of Chicago want to know, will you raise a tax, whether it be a property tax or implement something else?
Well, it's interesting. No one has ever asked me if I'm going to raise a tax.
In January, we sat down and asked the mayor multiple times if he'd use a property tax increase to pay for the city's debts. At the time, one of the biggest concerns was paying for the migrant crisis. So you can commit to not raising property taxes, regardless of how bad the situation gets.
My budget, the $16.77 billion that I just passed, 41 alders, I believe, supported this budget. And we did all of that without raising property taxes. The evidence is in what I passed. We made all of these investments without raising property taxes.
Now he's looking at an almost $1 billion budget deficit. Sources tell CBS News Chicago his team has been briefing some aldermen, but not others, that there's no other choice but to ask for an increase at his budget address Wednesday. It's unclear how much the property taxes could go up.
I think this is the end of the Democrat Party in Chicago. When you start hitting people's pockets, it's a game.
And I think people will be quite irritated because many people voted for him based on the promise that he won't increase property taxes.
David Greising, the president of the Better Government Association. He notes the mayor declined to implement the automatic property tax increase former Mayor Lori Lightfoot left for his administration.
That would have brought in extra revenue that the city could have used last year, could have maybe rolled over into this year, and so that was not available to him.
Oh. What happened here? Did it freeze?
You might remember Bring Chicago Home. The mayor proposed a tax on property sold for over $1 million, and that was voted down. It was supposed to be another source of revenue. Now the mayor faces a slew of budget hearings, and he has to convince the majority of alder people to vote in favor of his budget proposal by the end of the year. Joe Erica.
Just a few months to make these convincing cases.
That's the deadline.
All right. Thank you, Sabrina.
Yeah, so I don't know, my guys. Chicago's getting kind of crazy. They're making things worse, from terrible to worse, and worse to I don't know what else to say. You know, they're doing everything wrong, and you're pushing your own people away. That's all I gotta say. You know, there's the end of it. We saw this video. So this one. We saw that one. We saw the 50 and 0. Saw that one. I want to talk about Trump's thing. Oh, you guys see Trump is gonna do he said he's gonna start using the military, but Trump mass deportation plan.
Stories that we are seeing here on this Monday, and one of them has to do with President-elect Donald Trump. We saw in his past administration where he would make news on social media, and that is going to continue on during this administration, already doing so today. I do want to mention and showcase this. This is what I am talking about. So this has to do about his mass deportation plan when it comes to undocumented immigrants here. This is what was said where Donald Trump confirmed some of the news reporting that has been in the past, saying, this was from Tom Fitton putting this out, saying reports are that incoming Donald Trump administration prepared to declare a national emergency and will use military assets to reverse the Biden invasion through a mass deportation program. And then Donald Trump replying and putting it out there, confirming it, saying true with some exclamation points here. So we want to continue to talk about this, a major policy, of course, of Donald Trump, what he campaigned on when it was talking about migrants in the United States. So let's bring in our next guest here of this hour. This is from Axios, Steph Kite, Axios politics reporter and immigration expert. Thanks so much for joining us here on Live Now from Vox today.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So let's get right into it here. This is something, of course, that Donald Trump campaigned on, talked about what would happen if he became president. Now we're seeing some of what he is describing as his plans for this administration. Just tell us a little bit about the details of this. Of course, he said during it that he was going to focus the beginning parts on the actual criminal migrants in the country.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that with a second Trump administration, he's going to be, even more aggressive when it comes to cracking down on unauthorized immigrants in the U.S. And he's planning to use all sorts of legal loopholes and options within the federal government to do so. We've heard him talk a lot about using parts of the military to crack down on cartels in Mexico, for example, but also using federal law enforcement agents to expand the number of people who can be involved in these arrest and deportation efforts. Because when it comes to arresting undocumented immigrants and deportation, it requires a lot of logistical planning, and it requires a lot of manpower and investment from the federal government. And I've spoken to Trump officials who say that they do have very specific plans to not just involve ICE agents, whose job it is to kind of arrest and deport immigrants who are in the country unlawfully, but to also include other federal agents such as DEA agents, potentially the National Guard. So they're going to use as many options as possible to make this happen.
And another question that is big and continues to be talked about and remains to be unseen. So we don't, it's just not on the border counties and towns. These migrants are really all across the country. So how would this look as far as from getting them from one place to the next? How would that look like?
Yeah, I mean, again, these are very difficult logistical maneuvers, right? And there's different ways that ICE agents will target immigrants in the country illegally, and some are work site raids, for example. That's something we've seen in the past, where if they have knowledge that there is a company that's employing immigrants who are not in the country lawfully, that can be one target for ICE agents. Sometimes they can, target specific people's homes. This is usually the case when the person in question has, some kind of criminal record. So this could look a lot of different ways. And I will point out that in the past, deportation sounds, can be something that people in the U.S. are supportive of. They feel like immigrants should follow the law in the processes to get here. But the reality of a worksite arrest or at-home arrest is quite hands-on and can be, a disturbing public image at times, especially when you have kids involved or you have parents involved, when you have kids who are U.S. citizens involved. So that is a question, that I have as we move towards this, as this becomes more of a reality. Do we see continued support for these kinds of policies as we've seen during this election cycle, or do we see a backlash when people realize the reality of what a mass arrest and what mass deportation efforts actually look like? And on the deportation front in particular, I would note that deportation is a very difficult maneuver, that we only have so many planes. Logistically, think about commercial flying, all that goes into travel.
I guess when they were trying to say that Trump's going to use the military, I think it's only for like to build camps and stuff like that. I don't think the military is gonna go like door to door, but they are gonna be constructing camps. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Traveling across the country, and then add in a international flight, sometimes to very far destinations, and the fact that these are people who typically are shackled while they're being deported.
But just the logistical thing, I don't think they have the logistics for it. Because imagine how many airplanes you gotta do, plus all the courts, because everybody's gonna be fighting their case. I don't think I think it's like the border wall thing where he says he's gonna build the greatest wall ever, but he's gonna build like a portion of it. I think it's gonna be something like that. Like he's gonna crack down like on people who are felons and all that. But I don't think for him to be going door to door, I don't think that's possible because you still got unreasonable search and seizures. You have a lot of stuff that he's gonna be counter with
all of the security required for that. So this is going to be a very difficult lift, requiring a lot of resources, potentially additional resources from Congress. So while Trump is clearly very serious about these proposals, it will take a lot to actually get it done, not to mention cooperation from countries like Venezuela that we've had difficulty with them actually receiving their citizens back.
And tell me a little bit, Steph, about the media perspective and just how much of how hard it.
Because they did that in Japan when World War II happened. I don't know if a lot of people know this. The United States made concentration camps for Japanese citizens who are American citizens, but they couldn't trust them, or that's what they said. So they locked them up in camps. But I don't think they're gonna be able to do that. But that was in wartime. This is not wartime, and just the courts and everything, original search and seizures. I don't think it's gonna be visible like that, But he's definitely gonna try to do something sort of that.
Will be to maybe report on these almost in real time because you doubt that there would be press releases. Come to this area to see a mass arrest. It likely won't come out like that. So how will it be on the media landscape to be reporting on this as it is happening?
It's a good question. And, it'll probably depend on the situation, right? There are some cases where administrations have wanted to showcase these processes as, a reason to deter illegal immigration towards the U.S., right? This is sometimes a measure to show that the U.S. is taking this seriously. So I would not be surprised if in some instances the future Trump administration would want some.
But, he also doesn't see that all those vacant seats, and the vacant seats, I mean, the people where they're working, places where Americans don't want to work, they're gonna go vacant. Who's gonna pick up the slack with that? And there's gonna be another price hike because they're gonna charge a lot more because the people who are paying 10, 12 to 14 bucks an hour to do the work, the new people that have papers, they're gonna be requiring $20 an hour, to do the same work. So they're gonna offset the cost with the consumer. A lot of people not realizing by us deporting all the illegal immigrants, right, that are actually contributing to society. Not that we're not talking about the Venezuelans right now that they're chilling and whatever they do doesn't really matter, right? Because they're not contributing to the economy. They're just taking. I'm talking about the illegal immigrants here who are contributing to society. Those are the ones that push the economy forward. Because they have families they take care of, they consume. Let's say even the American holidays, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, all that stuff. There's gonna be a vacant place because the Venezuelans don't even do that. I feel like they should just go over and take care of the Venezuela issue because before that, yeah, there was crime and all that stuff, but not to the extent how it is now. And a lot of the illegal immigration that are here, the immigrants who come here with a debt in their back, they're the ones contributing to society. And all that money that's pumping into Social Security that never gets claimed to and all that stuff is going to affect the economy. Just deporting mass deportation, and who's going to be paying for this? He said that he's going to use the what's it called, emergency powers or whatever, but he's going to take it from the military budget. But we also need our military to be strong.
Press coverage of events like this, oftentimes they rely on local press, people who are on the ground where these arrests are taking place. I have had the opportunity to watch deportation flights board and take off from the border. So it is something that you do have select access to, but also given the risks involved, there is limited access there. But, it has been interesting that these policies may be controversial.
I think that everybody who's contributing here to society, who's been doing their taxes, have businesses and all that, just fix them. All the money they contribute to that goes to schools. A lot of those people own homes. Their property tax goes into your schools, into the policemen, into the fireman fund, pension funds, all that. If a lot of people get deported, that means that's pension funds for them too. You got to think about it both ways. I agree that with the Venezuelans, what they're doing, they're wilding out too much. But everybody who's contributed to society, who's been here illegally for years and years, and actually tried to make something out of their lives, and invested in buying homes, all that is gonna affect you guys, because all that revenue is gonna go down. Like I said, a lot of people these recent years have bought homes. Every year they pay property tax that pays for schools, firemen, all the public services. That money is gonna go down because those homes are gonna become vacant. Who's gonna pick up the slack for that? I say, most of the Venezuelans wilding out, kick them out. If you gotta make a life out of this country, make it and contribute like everybody else. Then there's no problem. But don't be asking for handouts and you don't contribute. That's
to some, but Trump has been very open about what his plans are when it comes to cracking down on immigration in the U.S. It's been well reported throughout the campaign. We can look back at what he did during the past administration. This isn't an issue that Trump shies away on. It's one that he feels very confident in. So I do think we will have a lot of insight into some of his big border proposals, though, of course, there's always been a little bit of a difficult relationship between the press and, former President Trump, so that could impact things.
Yeah, that is so true, and it'll be interesting to see, again, how it is all going to play out from a campaign-style stump speech to seeing it displayed in real life here. So that...
President-elect Donald Trump confirmed on Monday he plans to mobilize the U.S. military to carry out mass deportations. He announced it in a Truth Social post, writing simply, quote, But
like I said, I don't think the military is going to go to your home, but they're going to be constructing camps. But those camps are going to get, fought in court. But I don't think the military is going to go home, looking for immigrants.
True. Trump was responding to a Truth Social post the president of the conservative group Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton, made earlier this month that said, quote, Good news. Reports are the incoming Donald Trump administration prepared to declare a national emergency and will use military assets to reverse the Biden invasion through a mass deportation program. Now, his newly appointed border czar, Tom Homan, doubled down on the use of military. Here he is on Fox News Business Monday night. Let's watch.
Well, first of all, DOD's helped several administrations to secure the border, Republican and Democrat. DOD will be used.
And just so you guys know, this guy's been for, I think, Obama, Trump, and Biden. He's been the head of ICE.
If we have an agreement from DOD, the president has to make that decision. But if we use DOD, then...
See, those are the Venezuelans. Those are the Venezuelans. If you look at that video... Those are the Venezuelans while they're not, because they're the ones that rob you in their little motorbikes.
They'll be used to do non-enforcement duties, such as
See, another motorbike. Those are the Venezuelans. Those are the ones ruining it for everybody else. Those are the guys ruining it for everybody else. Because kick them out and we'll be straight, Kick the Venezuelans out. The ones that are doing bad, and we'll be straight,
whether it's on ground or air, infrastructure building, intelligence.
Look, another one in the bike. Those are Venezuelans. They're the ones wilding out. Kick them out. Out of here, shawty. Out of here. Those are the ones running for everybody, yo. These are Venezuelans right here. They're the ones wilding out. Kick them out. They're the ones running for everybody.
The things that would take a badge and gun and ICE officer that are doing these type of...
Look, another one. They should ban motorcycles. The other ones, those things are like $2,000. Of course, that thing is probably stolen. Look, let me show you. Venezuelans robbing in their country. Does that work? Venezuelans robbing in their country. I bet you they're in real motorcycles. Oh, no. Where are they at? But anyway, they're the ones doing it with the little motorbikes.
Duties, takes them away from those duties, put them on the street, and let the military do those duties because it doesn't require...
That's crazy. They're dragging the girl there, yo.
Immigration authorities.
Approximately 11 million undocumented immigrants are currently living.
But it's not the immigrants, the ones that been here doing all this ruckus. It's the new ones that came from Venezuela. Kick them out. They're wilding out too much. They're running for everybody else. Everybody else is paying for their mistakes. Back then, before they started coming here, everybody was chilling. Everybody was chilling. Now,
in the United States. A deportation of this scale stands to impact roughly 20 million families. According to reports, Trump's team is looking to craft executive orders that could withstand legal challenges similar to those that delayed his 2017 Muslim ban. The ACLU, for its part, is preemptively suing the agency in charge of immigration. According to Axios, the ACLU is seeking records on how ICE air operations could be expanded to carry out a deportation and detention program that could ensnare millions of undocumented or illegal, if you prefer, immigrants.
but like I said, in those videos, it's the Venezuelans wilding out. Look, let me show you backward. We go back to where it was. Look, it's them wilding out too much.
Sure, they're doing these.
They're in the little motorcycles, and they're the ones running for everybody else. They're doing all the robbing, all the killing, everything, all the extortion, and every other immigrant is paying for their crimes. You know, they're the ones that gotta get kicked out. The Venezuelans are acting up this way because not everybody is associating illegal immigration with them. When we're looking at the video earlier with the in the South Side, where they're saying we don't need illegals, and they're not talking about illegals like Mexicans. They're talking about these guys, the Venezuelans, while they now, you know, imagine they're getting their cake and eating it too. They're getting free food, free housing, and everything, and they're still robbing us, bro. You gotta chill, man. Y'all gotta chill. So, but since you know people in the South Side. You just see somebody Hispanic that associate illegal immigration with Mexicans, Guatemalans, everybody else. Everybody that's mostly being here and contributing to society. To these guys, to these Venezuelans acting up and robbing people. Y'all gotta get them out of here, the Venezuelans. Because everybody else contributing to society, paying, having homes, paying property taxes, paying income tax, paying Social Security into it that they would never get. A lot of these immigrants who are illegal would never get Social Security benefits, but yet every paycheck they get taken out from their paychecks. What happens with that money? You know? So it's not an illegal immigration problem because a lot of them are contributing to society. They're paying taxes every year and they don't get no money back. We're talking about these guys who are stealing from people. You know? These are the guys who, you see a little more, man, kick them out.
Takes them away from those duties, put them on the street.
See? Look at that. These are the guys you got kicked out. The ones that are robbing. You know? What was that?
So it's just like any other, and if you arbitrarily cut off or ban or put tariffs on or make illegal immigration. I share them. We need to take care of that. We need to fix the crime problem. We need to make sure the school system and the medical system make it so they can come here and work, so we don't have the price of everything get so out of whack, which it will be impacted by if you snapped your fingers and made.
That's what I was talking about earlier. You can't deport 11 million people without the economy, everything going to crap, because all the prices are gonna race up. Every American is gonna go over there to pick up lettuce in the fields. They're gonna be asking to get paid per basket. They're gonna be paid per hour, and when you get paid per hour, you have less incentives to be working faster and picking up more crops, because they're like, whatever, I'm getting paid per hour. Most of the illegal immigrants are getting paid per basket, per production. The more baskets they do, the more money they make. When you deport those people, right? And you put an American, they're gonna want to get paid per hour, and at least $20 an hour, and they're not gonna be out there in the sun because they have rights, right? They're gonna be like, I need my 30-minute break, I need my 15-minute break. You can't be doing that, and then you gotta be paying overtime. So if a basket costs, I don't know, maybe like a couple dollars for a basket, these guys want to guarantee their money, and they're not gonna be out there in the shade. They're gonna ask for sun protection. They're gonna be asking for benefits. They're gonna be asking for a whole bunch of stuff. And the legal immigrants don't ask for it because you already know that they want to work. They want to have the privilege to work here. But with an American, they want everything guaranteed. Because Americans are spoiled. So everybody has to account to that. You can't just deport illegal. And most of those 11 million illegal immigrants here are contributing to society, paying taxes. They're, property taxes. When they buy homes, those property taxes, they pay for the police. They pay for the teachers fund. They pay for the pensions. It's a whole thing. And then if the people are not here, what's gonna happen to that? It's gonna go down, and then it's not gonna be funded, and we're gonna have more economical problems. I say just get the Venezuelans, start wilding out, and be done with it. You don't need to do mass deportations because mostly all the immigrants that are here are contributing to society. They're contributing to society. They're not wilding out. Deport the ones that are robbing and stuff, which is like the Venezuelans. They're here. They don't appreciate the greatest opportunity they ever got in life.
Disappear all immigrant labor, you would get more expensive things, and people don't want that. It's just true. Like if you snapped your finger and got rid of all the lumber or all the steel or all the corn or all the bricks or whatever resources we're trading in Settlers of Catan, like they would not be good for the U.S. economy.
Right, but I mean, I think that goes to the point that I frequently come back to on Trump, which is his tendency to advance these pithy, politically popular slogans that actually don't make a lot of sense or are difficult to implement or would have all sorts of counterproductive effects. And when it comes to immigration, look, it is obviously a problem if you have 11 to 12 million people in the country who are not authorized to be there. I have never been among those on the more liberal side who've argued that that isn't an issue. But I also think that Trump scapegoats those people for all sorts of problems that isn't really anything to do with them, and exaggerates the level of crime. Not that any level of crime is good for someone who shouldn't be in the country in the first place, but seeks to demagogue the issue in a way that isn't really grappling with the needs of the immigrants.
And I would also say on crime, look, I have become, having lived in D.C. now for 10 plus years, continuously, and I lived here on and off before that, I have certainly become more cognizant of the crime problem in major American cities, and more willing, even as a libertarian who wants to defund every agency there is, I've certainly become more willing to put money and muscle behind police power to correct crime problems in cities or wherever they occur in America. So I am clear-eyed about that. It is not the case that immigrants are or illegal immigrants even, are disproportionately the cause of our crime problem. I mean, you can look at the 100+ murders that occurred in D.C. last year, the year before. It was a giant spike in violent crime, in homicide in the nation's capital. It's not immigrants. It's not illegal immigrants. It's people who are born here. It's poor, disproportionately black people from underprivileged areas of the city, many of them young, who...
Like I said, do not deport the 11 million immigrants who are contributing to society. Deport these guys. Where are they at? Where's the ones? None of those guys. Where are they at? Those are wilding out too much. Where are these guys at? Deport these guys robbing people. Those are the guys you gotta deport. Don't deport the guys that contribute to society. You know, because they're paying, like I said, they're paying into Social Security. They're paying into, you know, I'm gonna make a video right now. I'm gonna make a video because I do get more views on TikTok. But, you know, let's just say, don't deport the people that are contributing to society. Deport the people, the ones that are actually wilding out like this. Look at that, driving the little girl. Probably stole her purse. Those are the guys that gotta get out of here. Facts.
But if we use DOD, then they'll be used to do non-enforcement duties, such as transportation.
Look at that.
Whether it's on ground or air, infrastructure building, intelligence. The things that would...
Deport these guys. Look at that lady. Those are the Venezuelans wilding out. Don't deport all the immigrants because we all need each other. They're contributing to society. They're paying Social Security. They're paying to federal taxes. They're paying state taxes. They're paying all type of taxes. Imagine they're gone, and plus their jobs that nobody else wants. You're gonna have a deficit of people. So what's gonna happen? Less people to work in the fields. They hire the food's gonna cost because they gotta pay legal people better wages. It's a snowball effect. Snowball effect. Just take out the people who are wilding out. That's it. The ones that are causing problems and the ones that contributed to society, give them papers. Obviously, they're proving that they're trustworthy. You know, fair is fair. You know, I don't know. I just feel like everything went to crap when the Venezuelans started coming here. You know, that's the truth.
Stories that's.
But I don't think that the government's gonna send troops to their houses with the mass deportation thing. But you know, because like I said, everything's gonna get challenged in court. Everything's gonna get challenged everywhere. They're not gonna do the same thing that happened with the Japanese people in World War II, where they made concentration camps because you were Japanese and they couldn't trust you. You know, I don't think it's gonna happen. But you know, I don't know. It's crazy. You know, it's a crazy thing. Well, the war is getting scarier, though. I can tell you that. The war is getting scarier. Yeah. What else are we doing? Is there anything else to talk about today? Let's see. Let's go to Chicago Tribune. Chicago. CBS. No, let's go to CNN. Let's see what we find. Any more topics we gotta break? Well, thank God they're game attackums. You know, I understand Russia either. They could get no Koreans, they could get this and that, but once Ukraine fights back, it's a big issue. Get out of here. Get out of here. Put in fine tools. I think that's all the news for today. But like I said, get the Venezuelans in check, you know, take them out, and they're the ones that are doing all the stealing, all the wilding out, the robbing, all the crime right now. The bad ones. Look at this 14-year-old. What do you do? Let's see. Why are you crying, brother? He says you killed somebody. I think that's the guy that killed that police officer. Yeah, 15-year-old immigrant, suspect shooting tourists and firing a police officer in the robbery. See, like I said, they're the ones wilding out, the Venezuelans. Venezuela shooting everything. They're smuggling guns into shelters. Well, to be honest, it's not that hard to find a gun in the USA. Linked. Let me see, what was the other one?
Five suspects charged in the Times Square attack against two NYPD officers are behind bars tonight after facing a judge.
This is, we're learning now, two of the suspects are tied to a Venezuelan gang. Fox 8.
Oh, this happened over a year ago.
Linda Schmidt is live in Lower Manhattan with the latest details. Linda.
That's right there. Well, first of all, I can tell you this. I spoke with ICE today, and ICE confirming that two of the suspects in this case are members of a brutal Venezuelan gang. That gang is called Tren de Aragua. Federal authorities saying this is just proof that gang members are making it across the southern border.
And like I said, this takes national attention because it, you know, it says illegal Venezuelan gang members, you know, and then everybody gets painted with that picture like, all illegals are, no, not all illegals. The ones that were before this Venezuelan thing happened, they were chilling. I'm not saying there wasn't every other, once in a while there was a case where somebody tweaked out. But most of the illegal immigration here, they were contributing to society, paying taxes, income tax, Social Security, property tax, all that. And they're just chilling, living in peace. But once these guys came here and started messing everything for everybody, then that's a big thing. Nobody else before had a problem like that.
Border. Wilson Juarez and Kelvin Servita Arocha in court today in Lower Manhattan are members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, according to ICE. The two are part of the migrant mob.
Oh, I'm gonna pause right here because I don't want to get what you may call it, kicked from the other platforms. But like I said, these guys are tricking out. Get them out of here. Get the Venezuelans tricking out like these guys. Leave the illegal immigrants here who contribute to society and give them the path for citizenship. They're the ones that they're contributing, paying taxes and all that. Give them a chance. They're improving themselves by contributing to society and not causing problems. But these guys acting up. They're running for everybody else, and that's the sad part. They're making it harder for everybody else that came here illegally, but with aspirations to make something of themselves. And that's the sad part. That's really sad. Let's see. Alright, chat. I think I'm gonna try to leave soon. Let's see what else we have to talk about. CNN. We were at CNN, right? Anybody want to talk about something else? Let's see, like 10 people are viewing me. Huh? Wow, I feel special. Easy to be zero. Alright, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, did you guys see Little Dirk tweaking out? No, but I don't think anyone will see that. Congress. Oh, I think that's all the big news for today. The Chicago thing, you know, they're wilding out, you know. The mayor of Chicago wilding out. 300 million tax hike? Get out of here. You're not getting reelected, son. The mass deportation, like I said, I think they're just going to be like big camps. That's what the military can really do. They can't get deputized, you know, to go into homes because you got the Constitution, you know, no reasonable search and seizures, you know. So, you know, plus imagine the PR campaign with that. Nah, I don't think they'll do that. But the Venezuelans are taking out, you know, we gotta figure a way to get the bad ones out, you know, and leave everybody else who's been here contributing to society alone, you know, just leave them alone. You know, there's no why are we look, I think it's a video here. Illegal immigrants owning businesses. Did I spell business? Did I write it right? D-I-N. Oh, I did write it right. Did I? Yeah. Oh. 16 minutes. I don't know. You think that's copyright? Because I don't want to get kicked out.
Javier Gonzalez is the general manager of Pizza Al Fresco on Palm Beach Island, and he is in the process of getting his green card, but wonders how many undocumented immigrants may become targets of this mass deportation initiative. A crackdown to deport undocumented immigrants.
That was my worst nightmare.
Nearly came true for father of three Javier Gonzalez 6 years ago.
Within 48 hours, they were going to send me back.
A one-way ticket back to Mexico canceled, thanks to a clean criminal history, taking his case all the way to federal court.
Ever since the first day I came into this country.
See, like this is the American dream. He came, he did his thing, and he's contributing to society. Leave him alone.
My biggest dream has been to, you know, become a USA citizen.
A dream he fears could be deferred as President-elect Trump promises mass deportations. It's a move that could affect an estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants living in the U.S. What's the fear now? Is it the unknown?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wonder if, like, am I going back to square one and start all over again?
It's a matter local immigration attorney Richard Huber told her Michael Williams has been top of mind for his clients.
A lot of my clients have been here 20 plus years. Will they be ripped away as critics argue from their children? I just don't see how it can be done.
Huber said a backlog in the immigration court system may slow down the deportation process.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, Trump promises a lot of stuff, but I don't think he's going to do it. But he may try to do something. He's going to do something, but I don't know to what scale, you know?
There are certain resources that are obviously very limited in terms of ICE agents and the ability to actually carry out what these plans are.
Huber said in Florida there may be close to 2 million undocumented.
Well, I don't think it's that many.
Immigrants, and according to Reuters, during the first Trump term, just 1.5 million people were deported in the U.S. amid COVID setbacks. Reporting in Palm
That's COVID setbacks. That's crazy.
Beach County, Joel Lopez, WPTV News.
Trump stated many times that as soon as he comes back to the office, he's going to start mass deportations. But not only he stated that, people who now he announced will hold key positions in our administration relevant to immigration stated relatively the same. They're all are for mass deportations. In this video, I'm going to cover who may be targeted for this mass deportation in the States. With over 15 tests up, let's start. The first group of people that obviously will be targeted by Trump administration are those who already have orders of removal. Perhaps long time ago you went to court and you tried to file for asylum, but you lost your case. The judge ordered removal, but you never left the United States. Maybe you even tried appeals with Board of Immigration Appeals or federal court and lost. That old order of removal is still valid, is still standing, and because of that, now you can be removed out of the United States. If you had an order of supervision and you stopped going for your appointments with ICE, you are at even higher risk of being deported because ICE now has clear records that you are in the United States and you do have that order of removal, and now you also violated conditions of your order of supervision, so you are clearly deportable physically out of the United States. The second group that will be targeted by Trump and his administration, as announced by media, will be people with criminal records for which one may be removed or deported out of the United States. But if those people never been in removal proceedings, the government must first place them in removal proceedings, giving them their due process rights and giving them an opportunity to defend themselves. How you can defend yourself if you are placed in removal proceedings, I explained in my earlier video. Please watch it, and if you have questions, comment, and book an appointment with me. I'll be happy to have a strategy for your specific case. But these are not the only groups of people who are at risk. Consider people who were in removal proceedings, but now the removal proceedings are administratively closed. In the past, when Trump came into the office, his administration ordered prosecutors to start putting cases that were administratively closed on active calendar, trying to finalize those removal proceedings and deport people thereafter. You also need to know that if in the past you filed for some immigration benefits, VAWA, I-130 adjustment of status.
Hey Sarah, sorry I've been working a lot. I'll definitely check it out, and once I'm done with streaming. Sorry about that. I'll definitely check you out though. Let me check. Did you send me a message on? I'm barely opening it. Oh, you did send me a message. Sorry, my bad. My bad, Sarah. Definitely check your scans out. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, you sent me 3 messages. Alright, I'll send you a message once I'm done streaming. But thanks for reminding me. I'll definitely it'll be something like this. The GMV podcast thing. Kinda like that. Alright. Get back to it.
Status. I-140 adjustment of status based on employment, or perhaps you asked for TPS that was denied due to criminal convictions, or anything else. So, if in the past you asked for an immigration benefit and you received a denial, and you never did anything about the denial, you never refiled, you never tried to appeal it, now, because immigration authorities have records of you in the United States without status, you may be targeted for deportation as well. Finally, people who are undocumented, do not have anything pending for them, don't have work permit, and are encountered by the law enforcement, of course, may be placed into deportation or removal proceedings as well. Usually it happens when a person commits, for example, a traffic violation, and this way comes into the light of the immigration authorities. Well, first the police and then certain states' immigration authorities. Or the person travels and encounters CBP agents who check their status and they discover that the person doesn't have legal status in terms of immigration in the United States, and now the person is being placed in removal proceedings. Importantly, don't forget that ICE was caught using utility companies' records, trying to find where people who don't have legal immigration status in the United States reside. So, even though ICE was reprimanded for this practice, I believe.
Hey, yeah, I just logged in on the Discord. I'm gonna let you get. It'll be something like this, like the GMV stuff, like that. I don't know if I still have it. Let me send you a message right now before I forget them. 1 second. Maybe we take a picture. Let me take a picture of something like this. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Somebody's gonna make me. Let me clean this real quick. Yeah. Someone's gonna make me like a logo thing. That's why. 1 second. Does that make a picture? If I save it. Well, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I'm back. Where were we? All right, let's go. All right. Anybody want to keep talking about this? Or actually, let's play with the kids. I haven't played with them in a while. Hey guys, you guys want to play Bedwars? All right, guys, we're switching the topics. We're going back to Bedwars because it's been too serious for a while already. Oh wait a minute. What the heck happened here?
What, Martin?
All right, we're switching the chat. Live. Edit post. Now.
Guys, vamos xingar minha louca, okay? Let's play Dress to Impress. Papa, I'm so thankful that you got us the extra gun.
Why? You guys kind of fumbled the ball last time.
Huh? That was because it was our first time trying.
I wonder how I change my the name.
Your standard weapon. Are we gonna play Bedwars?
All right, let me this real quick. All right, we're changing the chat real quick. What's up, baby dog?
Let's go. Nuke.
What's up, my baby dog? Alright guys, I think we were talking about serious stuff lately, and we need a little change of pace. Oh, this is where you do it. Oh, okay. I did not know that. How do I end one stream though? I need to cut off YouTube.
He looks like a good kid. Me.
One second, guys. Stream. YouTube, multi-streaming.
Or I could do Talia, Cletus, and then -6.